If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss along with Pauly Howard. We are live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Action-packed 3-hour program lined up today. Strong guests as always. Jeff Seeley on the PGA. Best bets for this week of the Charles Schwab. Paul Charchian back in Minneapolis on the game tonight. And also some Vikings rumblings. J.J. McCarthy and Derek Stevens. Big announcement to make here on the show coming up a little bit later on. And in 30 minutes, we'll hit hockey in the NHL with the playoffs continuing tonight. Greg Wyshynski is going to join the program from ESPN, Pauly. But we do have some point spread movement for Game 1 tonight of the Timberwolves and the Thunder. In fact, the 7.5s about 15 minutes ago were completely wiped out. And it was down to 7 at almost every book. And in fact, this was down to 6.5 with Oklahoma City favored at the South Point here in Las Vegas and at the BetMGM books across the country. Well, that has since flipped again because BetMGM went from 6.5 to 7.5 right before the show started. And the South Point here in Las Vegas, which was the only 6.5 on the screen, is now back up to 7. And the total is between 217.5 and 218.5. So as always, shop around. I'm very excited for this matchup tonight and for the series. They split the 4 games in the regular season, 2 apiece. The Wolves covered 3 out of those 4 games. And as for the total, when they played back on New Year's Eve, that was 217. Then they played 3 times in 11 days in February. And the totals were 229, 228, and 228, 1 under, and the other 2 flew over. You cannot forget that Gobert, Randall, and DiVincenzo each missed 3 games. Players like Terrence Shannon and Jalen Clark averaged about 25 minutes per game over those 3 games that they missed. And Holmgren and Caruso each missed 2 of the regular season games for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Mm-hmm. So I don't think the regular season games really have much to do with what we're going to see tonight.
No. Well, some people do because the total moved 5 points based on what the total opened at. In some spots, 213.5. So it could be a frenetic pace. I think more that Minnesota will slow it down. And first things first is Minnesota take care of the ball, as they were sloppy turning the ball over in a couple games, and Finch called them out, and OKC's number 1 with turnover differential and points off turnovers. Are they going to be okay, Minnesota, with let SGA go off and don't let the others get involved? Because he torched them in 3 of the meetings. Are you okay with that? Where it's, okay, then if SGA gets his 35, as long as no one else goes off and gets involved, we're okay with that and we're going to be good.
I know. Is that the game plan? Is that the recipe for success, you think?
I think I'm okay with that, yes. Because I'm going to play zone, and SGA can do what he wants, and then it gave him so much problems in the Denver series. Williams didn't do much. Williams closed poorly shooting the ball. Dort, Holmgren, and these other guys, if they're not going to knock down shots and the zone gave them so much trouble, then I think that fits for Minnesota. Minnesota can do a good job on the boards, and then they're going to be in this thing and can win this series.
But here's the thing, though. I'll fight back on that and say if they let SGA get what he wants, 35 is not going to be a big enough number then. Okay. Because SGA is going to win the MVP, I'm guessing, any day now. And he might go for 40, 45 under that scenario. And if he is just cooking at that point and he's getting whatever he wants, then you're basically going to need not the entire team, obviously, to go off. But if you can have one of the, the others at that point step up and play to like their level, then it's going to be a long series, I think, for Minnesota. But
37, 39, and 40 he had in 3 of the games.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
And Williams finished 10 of 43 in games 4, 5, and 6 against Denver. So that they're hoping that guy shows up as well. But that's a little bizarre that the zone gave him so many issues. Minnesota had success with it in the regular season. I think you'll get a lot of it tonight. But the big thing is what Randall's done. I mean, Randall's been a superstar in the first 2 rounds. And if he plays like that again, then this series price really is crazy, what you're looking at, because he went for 24, 6, and 6 and shot 51%. And in the playoffs in 2021 and 2022, he was atrocious, shooting 29% and 37%. So if I get aggressive Ant, which you love, and I get Ant knocking down shots and Randall's playing like that, I know you like Naz Reid. I know you like McDaniels. Who doesn't? I love that Minnesota's a big underdog, too. That's the spot they relish, and I'd rather have them be in as opposed to a favorite.
No doubt. And there's also this, Pauly, right? Teams coming off of a Game 7 against teams that are not coming off of a Game 7 in the previous series. 51 examples of teams in this situation where they are off a Game 7 against a team that did not go since 2004. Teams off that Game 7 are 19-31-1 ATS. That is 38%. And 92 times a team played Game 1 after being involved in a 7-game series over the last 37 years. They are 35-57 straight up. 31 of the 92 teams lost by double digits. And Eli Hershkovitz had a good breakdown today of the history with that. So that obviously history tells you that it favors Minnesota under that scenario. I'm a little bit concerned with Randall tonight in terms of maintaining the level of success that he's been at so far in the playoffs, because the other big who's going to be out there starting the game with him, Rudy Gobert, my guess is he's going to have to play. He's been awesome defensively in the playoffs, and he is a 4-time winner of the Defensive Player of the Year award. So you know what you're going to get out of Gobert defensively. He needs to be that guy. Offensively, I think the Thunder are going to say he's not going to score anything on us, because we got guys who can handle him. So we are going to put our full concentration on not letting Randall do what he's done in the previous 2 series. Mm-hmm. And this team is just absolutely one of the most elite defensive teams we've had in a long, long time in this sport. Yeah,
that's why I think it's going to be key in terms of what gets accomplished from the outside, because nothing's going to get done down low in the restricted area, because OKC's number 1 in rim protection, and Minnesota was second best in the playoffs. So don't bring that stuff in here. So that's good. Although they were so good, that's why they were so good in Game 7 against Denver as well. But I'll go back to what Denver did in Game 7, which was turnover city, right? And no depth. And once the bench came in, run for cover. But this is Minnesota has depth, a good bench, and it goes back to at times that they did play some sloppy basketball. But if they take care of it, I think they're going to get a game in OC and have a great chance to win the series. And we agree that the price is way too high on OKC. And ESPN.com, 8 picked OKC, 5 picked Minnesota.
5 did.
Yeah. They all said a long series. They all had long series, too. Nothing short here.
That's what I'm kind of hoping for. I mean, again, I'm super stoked for tonight and this entire thing. I hope it goes 6-7 games. I love watching both these teams play. And I think, it could be a real, people like to say rock fight, dog fight, whatever. Call it one of those. I think it's going to be feisty at times, too. And both these teams have a lot of star power. It's unfortunate for the NBA, like Barkley, when he called out the guys on ESPN, all you ever do is talk about Golden State and the Lakers. That's it. But the star power here absolutely exists.
How much does last year help? They fell on their faces.
The fact that they actually did that and got embarrassed might be a good thing.
I think I agree. Absolutely. And they were expected to win, and you had home court, and then that was it. It was Minnesota misery. Yeah, so it's a great story, though, too, just like the Knicks. I mean, going back, Knicks with the drought, but this is an organization that's accomplished nothing. The issues in the lottery, first time ever you go back-to-back conference finals, and then before you made it last year, you had the 1 year with Garnett and Cassell, and you got run out by the Lakers in the conference finals. So this has been, you had that streak where they lost like 12 series in a row, whatever it was. So they haven't had anything to cheer about for a long time until last year.
Well, to your point, right, and the history of Minnesota sports fans and the misery there, the tortured fan base, they're going to be up 3-1 and they'll blow the series. Watch it play out like that. Right, commanding lead, dominating, crowds on fire in Minnesota, 3-1, and then just with the history there of that entire state with their teams. Mm-hmm. Okay, no good, boys. So you mentioned Naz Reid. In the regular season, again, you need to keep in mind, Gobert, Randall, DiVincenzo, again, they missed 3 games each of the 4 that they played in the regular season. Reid averaged 37.7 minutes per game, which was the most over those 4 games. He also led the team with 22.5 points per game and 11 rebounds per game. Again, I've been saying this all year long in the NBA. I love his game. You take Naz Reid off this team and put him anywhere else in the NBA as like the 6th man, and it significantly improves whatever team you're talking about overnight. So I bet I laddered his rebounds tonight. There is a book out there offering most rebounds in the game. He's 125 to 1. I know others who have laddered his threes in this game, and Dan Karpuk here at VSiN has an excellent write-up with 5 different props at vsin.com. I would encourage everybody to read it. He has a great breakdown of several players and the history here of Naz Reid going over. And when he bet it, it was 14.5 points and rebounds. Naz Reid is 68-22 to the over, 14.5 points and rebounds on the year. I got it at 15.5. It's still on the move at like 15.5, but I also laddered his rebounds for this game tonight. 6 and up. So but how much will his game be impacted by Gobert and Randall being in now?
I don't see how Finch handles it.
Yep.
You can sit back and watch and take that approach too, and wait till in play and see what game one looks like too. Have you changed your mind on anything? The more you dig, the more you read. How about this? The Knicks starting 5 has been outscored in the playoffs, while the Pacers are plus 22. They close strong. They start fast, close strong, and wear you out.
Well,
That's a disaster for the Knicks.
Then who's the main guy on the Knicks bench if their starters were outscored? Or I guess, did it just play into the margin of victory over the course of the playoffs? Okay, all right.
Yeah, isn't that something?
That's a wacky one.
That is. And ESPN.com, it wasn't a blowout. It was 9-4.
9-4 Knicks?
Yeah, 4 people did pick the Pacers. Right. Smarter bets start here and last all year long with VSiN Pro. Sign up, get an annual subscription, 14 months, just $199. Code PRO. We'll kick in 2 extra months for free, less than 50 cents a day. The morning email from Bill 80, every best bet, every host, every guest. 24/7 video access. The Mackinnon betting trends. VSiN.com/subscribe. Code PRO. Lock in the offer. Incredible. Less than 50 cents a day. Go get it.
I want to give you some alarming numbers on Anthony Edwards up next. And Major League Baseball, Patrick Corbin has been much better this year than over the past 5 years, but he struggles against an unlikely candidate on the Yankees. Find out who next.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Oh, man, one of the best sitcom characters of all time. George Wendt, Norm, Cheers, passed away. News came out about 35 minutes ago, 76 years old. I watched every episode of Cheers when I was younger.
Yep.
Loved the show.
How about SNL with the Bears skit, though, too?
Huge.
How good was that?
Absolutely.
Yep. He couldn't keep a straight face when Farley was doing the heart attack and everything, yeah.
My buddy actually went back and watched every single episode from Cheers during the pandemic.
Oh.
So I haven't watched it in, when did the show end? Late 80s, early 90s, whatever it was.
And Kirstie Alley over Shelley Long, right? Can he get there?
He actually said, what do you think his takeaway was?
I don't know.
Still good.
Holds up? Yeah.
He said it
good.
held up?
Why not? Yeah. The guy's hanging in the bar. Absolutely.
Damn it. Let me give you this in the NBA. Now, Anthony Edwards, good write-up again, Dan Karpuk. In 4 regular season meetings with Oklahoma City, Anthony Edwards stayed under tonight's points prop. That's, by the way, moved down. It was 27.5 on the opener. Now you're seeing 25.5. But he scored 17, 23, 20, and then 29 in the 4 games. That one went over. He shot a combined 24 of 66 from the floor, which is 36%, and turned the ball over 14 times. So to your point about, the Thunder's switchable defense, how they swarm people, and he is, when it was 27.5 on the season, Edwards 44 overs, 44 unders on the year. So there's a reason why that point prop has been on the move.
I can't get past the big move with the total. Because how ugly that looked on offense in the Denver series. Because you got the number 1 defense, and they had all their issues offensively, and it was just SGA and not getting a lot of help. You 218.5, man. Because Minnesota can defend too.
Oh, they can
with
for
their
sure.
dudes. So you got the number 1 defense, Number 1 points off turnovers. Number 1 turnovers forced. And number 1 rim protection. So it comes down to what Minnesota's doing from the outside. Do they take care of the ball? And if Ant and Randall play like they have so far in the first 2 series, Minnesota's going to win.
Well, how many threes do you think the Wolves are going to take on average in this series?
That's a good question.
Right?
Because Finch was livid with what they were doing. Now, Game 1 against Golden State and Game 1 and Game 5 against Los Angeles were ridiculous.
Of course. And they wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
And they couldn't hit anything.
Yeah. Game 2, excuse me. Game 2. But that's attack and get the others going and be aggressive. But the comeback might be if DiVincenzo and these guys are open and Naz Reid. Certainly we'll see what Finch says, what it looks like, though, tonight. I mean, I can't wait. I'm with you on that one as well.
I'm super stoked, man. Both, by the way. The game that we get tomorrow in that conference and also the game, I think it's an awesome Final Four. Major League Baseball today, Patrick Corbin's going. You know what, to his credit, on the year,
Spider-Man.
3.35, yes, with the ERA. The FIP, okay, more than a run higher, 4.74. That's not good. But both those numbers are down significantly over the past 4 to 5 years. He is on the road tonight taking on the Yankees. The home ERA so far this year for Patrick Corbin is 2.91. And when he's on the road, that goes up to 3.94. The whip is also much higher. And here is your unlikely candidate that has had a career.
I haven't seen numbers like this in a while. This is a good one.
DJ LeMahieu for the Yankees, 22 of 58. First of all, that's a ton of at-bats. That's a 379 career average. 3 triples. And are you ready for this? 6 home runs.
Bam.
He's as high as 10-1 to go yard tonight.
Yep. $2 to get a hit. And we got there last night barely, but Freeman and Benson got it done with their doubles.
Yeah.
So this has been a good run for the guys who are hot with these streaks, keep it going, and then the numbers we give you every day with how a guy owns a pitcher.
Now, I'm a little concerned here that evidently with the weather tonight, Yankee Stadium not exactly going to be conducive for a 10-8 ball game. So it's going to be more pitcher-friendly tonight. But, again, that awesome track record there with LeMahieu.
All right.
6 homers.
A double moves the chains.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with that.
Sure.
Again, Steer has great numbers, like we talked about yesterday. He's going against Folter, and Turner has owned Sensatella. Who doesn't? But his numbers are, these Sensatella numbers, my God. Hey, Phillies, what would you wait around so long for? Come on. Took you long enough to score.
Poor Rockies, by the way.
Yeah.
God, you're cruising along. It looks like, hey, they actually might get one against one of the best teams in baseball. Pfft,
yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
And then the Phillies covered like every imaginable out run line as well. So that was a bad one for books, no doubt, last night. What do you want to do with the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers? Yeah,
this is wild now. They're just not getting any help from the starting pitching.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Mookie goes deep a couple times, Ohtani, and it's just the starting pitching is putting them in such a hole that you asked us before the season started. What would the longest losing streak be? Now we're going for 5 in a row here.
Mm-hmm.
So I would probably look over, but this is they got to get that starting pitching straightened out. But the bats have been there as well. I mean, the weekend series against the Angels was just bananas.
Of course,
that's just unexpected how that happened in the 30-1 shot. But I think they'll get to Nelson. He actually has pretty good numbers against the Dodgers going back. But I would think the Dodgers can get. I mean, it's Yamamoto, and yet you got a 9.5 though.
I know. First of all, it's not Ryan; it's Ryan.
Yep.
Going for the Diamondbacks. And Yamamoto, you're right, very strong on the year, almost 10.5 Ks per 9. He does not allow 1 home run per 9, so it's below that number, which is good. 2.12 with the ERA, FIP 3.06. However, he's been touched up now in 2 consecutive starts, including 2 starts ago at Arizona, 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 home runs, 5 earned, 4 walks. Check that, 4 Ks and 1 walk in that game. Marte and Moreno went deep. And this Diamondbacks offense is chugging along quite nicely here on the year. It's plus 204 as we speak at Circa for Arizona to win the game tonight. Now, I expect Yamamoto to bounce back, but what does that mean overall? A bounce back could be 6 innings, 3 earned, and
yeah, that's true.
Maybe they get to the bullpen, and again, the bullpen for the Dodgers, they're missing a ton of guys as well.
Yep. I got a couple for you. I got a Yurfie. It's $1.30. Well, there'll be a run scored in the first inning in the A's-Angels game.
Okay.
Hendricks has an ERA of almost 9 in the first 2 innings. A lot of people get them early, and you got to get them early, or you don't get them. So that's been a launching pad, and it's only $1.30. I think there'll be a Yurfie in the Angels game.
Yeah, A's home run props, by the way, look a little attractive tonight.
Okay, and they are in a losing streak as well. And how do you not take the Reds? Bailey Falter, last 6 starts against Cincinnati, 0-4 with an ERA of 9. They did it again. You said it last night when the Reds scored early. I go, that'll hold up. And the Pirates scored 1 run. That's 24 games in a row held to 4 runs or fewer.
Yeah.
They cannot hit. Falter has horrible numbers against the Reds. It is Martinez today for Cincinnati. Oh, by the way, their starters are awesome. Going back against Pittsburgh this year, they're 4-0 against the Pirates. They've outscored them 21-6. And during this winning streak, the starters have an ERA of 1.80. They're $1.40. What am I missing here?
I think a little bit of money on the Pirates, by the way.
Yeah. Well,
at some books, the way it looks.
Good luck.
So, by the way, we talked about that yesterday. Good angle from Dan Goodwin, member of the FTM Army, who's been doing this now for several weeks in baseball, tracking these team totals. It went 5-0 with the teams that we pinpointed yesterday. Right? Pirates being at the very top of that list. Staying under all 4.5. Now, the numbers are completely moving on this stuff, but if you want to get creative, betting like parlays or more precisely like round robins, Dan said that he's still laying it when it's $2 or below. They all came in again yesterday. These offenses are just completely inept, and they lead the pack. So, Scooble goes tonight for the Tigers.
Yeah, $1.80 on the road.
Sonny Gray was awesome.
Yep.
I will give you this. Now, the Red Sox got to Scooble in his last start, but Boston is one of the best lefty-hitting teams in the entire league. The Cardinals against lefties, they are very middle of the pack. They are 97 with the WRC plus, 12th overall. Woba's 12th in the league. Opposing left-handed starters are 10-4-1 over their K-prop against the Cardinals on the year. St. Louis strikes out 22.4% of their at-bats against lefties and 18.4% against righties. So they're much better at not striking out against righties than they are against lefties. And recent lefties to go against St. Louis, Cameron for the Royals stayed under 4.5, but Reagans went over, Luzardo went over, Sanchez went over, Gore went over, Parker went over. Scooble's K-prop tonight, 6.5, minus 130 in that neighborhood. I bet that. Last 4 games for Scooble, 11, 12, 8, and 11 Ks.
Yeah.
And there's also this, his counterpart tonight, Eric Fetty. Been a great story. Last 2 starts, 9 innings, no earned, 8 Ks, followed by 5 2/3, 3 hits, no earned. Does that really continue? The scoreless streak from Eric Fetty?
Not against Detroit.
I don't think so either.
No, I think they bounce back. Yep. And you want to go some Phillies props, you can go ahead too. As I mentioned, Turner has owned Sensatella. He's $1.40 to have 2 total bases.
Harper has good numbers too.
Yep. Last 4 starts, 0-4 with an ERA of 9. The Colorado Rockies, 8-39. Mama. Conference playoffs start tonight. NBA, Profit X offering the best odds all playoffs long. Peer-to-peer sports exchange available in 40-plus states. You'll be able to make your sports picks against other groups of fans rather than against books. Exchanges guarantee the best odds on average by 10 to 20%. You can even request your own odds. Download Profit X today, code VSIN. Earn up to $200 in profit cash over your first month. Go get it. New users sign up offer $200 in profit cash. Code VSIN available in 40-plus states. Profit X.
We'll talk NHL playoffs. Greg Wyshynski, ESPN, joins the program coming up next. He called this before the season and again before the playoffs started. We'll ask him why coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSIN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSIN.
The NHL playoffs resume tonight as well. Welcome back. Follow the Money here on VSIN, the Sports Betting Network. And joining us now to discuss is Greg Wyshynski. Does a great job covering the National Hockey League for ESPN, and he is on the Progressive Guest line. Greg, good afternoon. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
My pleasure. Yeah, I'm good. I'm in Raleigh for Game 1 tonight. And that should be an interesting series, I think. 2 teams that certainly are familiar with each other, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Well, so as long as you're there then tonight for the game, how much do you think Florida is going to be impacted from playing late Sunday night, quick travel time to get there, and now they're going to drop the puck already tonight?
Every time I think they're going to be gassed because they played so much hockey over the last 2 years, they look fresh as a daisy. So I don't know if it'll impact them much at all. I mean, obviously in Carolina's case, getting the extra rest is nice because of just the way they play, the the aggressiveness, the hard skating that they do under their coach Rod Brindamore. That'll be beneficial to them. But you never know if the layoff really impacts the team's momentum, or if the lack of a layoff in the case of the Panthers will help them just kind of roll into this game a little bit.
Do you think last year matters, where they'd only scored 6 goals in the series and were swept? Speaking of Carolina.
Well, it's 2 years ago, but but it's fine. It's definitely it feels like last year for me because I was reminded that the last time I covered a game 1 here in Carolina, we were 12 seconds away from it going to a 5th overtime. So I'm hoping history doesn't repeat itself tonight between these teams. No, history does matter in the sense that this is a little bit of a different matchup. The Carolina Hurricanes did not have one of their key players for that series. Andrei Svechnikov, who might be their best pure goal scorer on the roster, missed that series with an injury. And like you said, it was a series of 1-goal games. Mm-hmm. Carolina is constantly being asked by people like me whether they have enough offense to get through and play for a Stanley Cup. And I actually asked Svechnikov that. I said, is there enough offense in this room to play for a cup and beat this Florida team? And he said today, easily enough offense to get past Florida. And obviously he would be a big part of that, having not been a part of that sweep a couple of years ago. Okay, great job. Also, good question. And a great job the last time you were on. So you had Dallas before the season, and you had Dallas winning the cup, even though they came in on this long losing streak and got blasted in game 1 at home against Colorado. Why did you stay strong on the Stars? I just like their depth. I think there's a certain amount of bridesmaid kind of thing going on there too. They made the conference final in consecutive seasons. The team has been together for a very long time. When I made the preseason pick, I didn't know what sort of in-season moves their GM Jim Nill would make, meaning I didn't realize they'd trade for Mikko Rantanen. But I'm happy that they did, because now it looked real smart that guy popped off the way he did in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. Went a little quiet in the last 2 games against Winnipeg, so we'll see if he can heat up again against Edmonton, because they'll certainly need him. But I love their goalie, Jake Ottinger. They're getting healthy at the right time with Miro Heiskanen and Jason Robertson coming back in the lineup against Winnipeg. There's a lot of reasons to still love where they are. But again, this is a team that has stalled out at this point in the season for 2 consecutive seasons. Mm-hmm. And you guys did a great job today on ESPN.com with the previews. You have a goalie confidence rating when you preview these 2 series. Where is it with Edmonton? Well, I can't speak to what they wrote because I didn't write that one. But for me, it's always going to be right around maybe like a 4. Stuart Skinner has the crease now with Calvin Pickard having been injured. Pickard played pretty well for them early on in the playoffs before his injury. And, Skinner put up good numbers towards the end of that Vegas series, but I think that is much more about the kind of defense that Edmonton is playing than anything that Skinner's doing between the pipes. And that's really one of 2 X factors in this series for Edmonton. The first is they are playing an incredibly good style of defense right now, but better defensively than I ever thought I'd see them play this season, because they certainly didn't play like that in the regular season. And the second X factor is the fact that they've been able to make it this far in the playoffs and win that series against Vegas based on their depth. They haven't needed Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl to really carry the freight for them offensively as they normally do. And that's scary. like if Edmonton doesn't need McDavid and Draisaitl to be the hero every single night, that's kind of a scary proposition if you're the Dallas Stars. Yeah, it's Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, Greg Wyshynski, does a great job covering the NHL for ESPN. So in theory, both these teams can win games, in a 7-game series 2-1, or they can win it 5-4. But which style of play at this point of the season do you think would best suit Edmonton to win a 7-game series against Dallas? Lower scoring or higher scoring? Yeah, I think you want to keep the margins down. I mean, I'm not sure they could even get to having high scoring games with the way that Ottinger's playing. He's been playing so good for Dallas that, a high scoring game might not happen anyway. But, they've shown their ability to win tight games. I mean, winning against an LA Kings team that didn't really give you much, and Vegas just trying to be the same way. I think keeping the scores down is good. You don't want to give the Dallas offensive players too much room to shine. And I kind of think that's where the series is going to end up anyway. Well, I'm hoping personally that every game is like 2-1 Edmonton
or something like that with maybe a shutout sprinkled in there, because I did bet Skinner at 300-1 to win the Conn Smythe. And I did it because of the number. That was it. Am I burning money, Greg? Or do you think there's an angle here where if he just picks up that play that he had at the end of the Golden Knights series, and he's one of the main reasons why they would win the Cup, he would have a real chance to win it?
He'd have to overcome the narrative that it's not the defense in front of him. And I think right now that's kind of where people are. I think he's getting the credit for being competent and like not losing a series for his team. I'm not sure if he's crossed the Rubicon to where some teams, goalies that win the Conn Smythe get to, which is you are the reason this team won a series. I will tell you that our next Conn Smythe watch comes out tomorrow. We poll the actual voters for the award and get their opinions. I will tell you that McDavid is third in the voting right now. So Skinner definitely has a teammate or maybe two to overcome before he would even be in the conversation.
Very good. Looking forward to that. That's excellent. Your tweets have been excellent as well. They were planning the parade before the season in Toronto, and we know how that went. What changes should they make, and what happens now with the Leafs and how it didn't work out, and again, they couldn't even get to the conference finals?
Well, since we're on a betting show, I'll make this analogy. If I'm playing video poker, I hold Matthews, I hold Nyes, I hold Willie Nylander, and then I redeal because I feel like that's a good starting hand, but everything else on that team is dysfunctional. Everything else kind of needs to change. It's going to change because Mitch Marner's an unrestricted free agent. He spoke today and did not sound like a man who's going to be re-signing there. John Tavares is an unrestricted free agent. I think they'd bring him back at a certain price. If he doesn't want to come back at that price, there are going to be opportunities for him to go elsewhere. So there's a little bit of free agency stuff that's going to happen that's going to reshape the roster anyway. But man, it is beyond time for them to move past the core four players in Toronto, because it's become toxic now. The fact that they can't win a critical game at home in a tight series.
And by the way, the way the game started, Greg, after they dropped the puck, the first 5 minutes, it's like, guys, did you know that you had a game tonight?
Yeah. Well, they're afraid to lose. That's the thing. That's the bottom line about playing in Toronto is that you are the center of attention, and it's a very sort of like great high school football program in a small Texas town where everybody knows who you are and who your family is and where you live and where you get your coffee and where you walk your dog, and there's no escaping the criticism. There's no escaping the taunts. There's no escaping the disappointment that you see on people's faces when you don't win. And I feel like especially in Marner's case, it just kind of broke them. Like there's no other way to say it. They're mentally, when your top six players don't get a point in two critical home games in the second round of the playoffs, something's got to change.
Great answers. Great job. Good luck with your predictions. Enjoy the game tonight. Thanks for a few minutes, sir.
Much appreciated, boys. Thanks.
All right. Well, it's like Kachuk said. If they weren't in Toronto, if they were playing here, they'd have a cup. That's how it is.
Yeah.
And his other point, too, about Edmonton's power play's been bad. And here they are.
I know it.
With the depth. No power play. The kill was atrocious against L.A., and here they are.
Well, again, that's if they're going to win games like that, then I think the Skinner ticket is going to be live. But it also very difficult to overcome the start to the playoffs for him. But
yeah, that's what I would disagree with Greg. I think missing the first 6 wins hurts him more than
defense getting the credit.
Yeah. That's what I think.
Yeah. By the way, so
I love the game under tonight. 5.5. I think
for tonight's game.
I'm high. Anderson's been great in the playoffs, and I just think you're going to see a low-scoring game, and that's how Carolina's going to have to win these.
So who do you think is going to come out number one tomorrow when that Conn Smythe story comes out on ESPN.com? He said he polled the voters.
Rantanen.
He's got to be number one.
Mm-hmm.
He's not on the odds board.
Yeah.
But he has to be the way it's gone so far in the playoffs.
Yeah. And the Dallas has been the opposite of Edmonton. 5 players have 26 of the 32 goals so far.
Win some, lose some is up next. Plus, Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever play their second game of the season in the WNBA. And you guessed it, her prop numbers have moved since her triple-double in Game 1.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Mookie Betts to go deep twice, 40-1. In the loss, Ohtani also plus 160 to go deep. He was plus 140 in some spots. Here we go now with the judge and Ohtani. If they're going to go deep every night, right? How low can we go with these prices?
I did see Ohtani tonight as high as, I think, plus 195. That may have been here at Circa.
Yeah, okay.
But no, you're right. I mean, they're hovering around plus 140 to 160 now, as you said.
Yeah.
In these games.
And Rodriguez hits the grand slam. First home run of the game, 7-1. Anytime, 4-1.
4 straight games, their pitching allowed 1 run.
There's something, man. And that was impressive that they swept San Diego on the road, right? Mm-hmm. I got a lot here for the NFL. Okay, number one is the vote. They're voting tomorrow on the tush push and the Detroit Lions proposal. Get out of here. If you have a lousy record and you win your division, you don't get a home game. You seed by record. What do you think? Are they going to ban the tush push, and are they going to go for the Lions thing, which Goodell wants?
I'm going to say I'll trust the betting market here. So the tush push to get banned, the yes is $4. As someone from the state, I completely understand that people hate the Packers at this point.
Oh,
completely understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the other one is it's not going to happen for some idiotic reason because it is $8. That's the favorite for it not to happen with the playoffs getting reseeded. Why would we not?
I think I would take that. I think
the people who
that's a
I
bet
saw
online. I would take the I think Goodell's going to push this through. Go ahead.
The people who on social media who I follow suggesting you can't get rid of what winning the division means. I can't even have a conversation with you.
Oh, boy.
I'm sorry, but like the NFC North last year, with those 3 teams and how many wins they each had with the Lions, the Vikings, and the Packers, and that happens almost every single year with one other division, and you might have a team that wins 8 games, win a division, that's going to be more important than 3 teams that win 13 games. What?
Yeah.
How?
Yep. Also, the 49ers and the York family sold 6% of the team at an $8.6 billion valuation.
It's pretty hefty.
I think someone was in a tough spot in the family, and they're like, we'll help you out. Here's $550 million. They sold 6%. $8.6 billion. Well, it's never going to stop here.
I think they
imagine if Jerry's like, let's sell us a little bit of the Cowboys. You want a little piece?
The Cowboys will be, if they're not worth like $15 billion already, they'll get there at some point.
Damn. Goodell also said today, it's within, give it 3 to 5 years, 16 international games. Almost one a week.
Yeah, sure. I would love to bet on that because that will happen for sure.
Subscribe, be part of the team, vsin.com, our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos at Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in. We'll put you on. Send them at X. It's great. Listener sent this in. Look at the dog going on stage at the concert with, give me a drumstick. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah. Piece of cake. He goes out. He can play too. Going back out on stage as the drummer helped him out. That's excellent. And there he is, having a good time. It's like the guy, the dog was wandered into the concert and was sitting in the front row the whole time.
Let him up on stage. Let's go.
That was great. And we got a bulldog here. The guy's on the bike with a backpack. There you go. Yeah. The lady, the stoplight, she wants to take a picture. See? Look who's on the back. Hey, there's a bulldog. He's got the glasses on. Hey, how you doing? What of it? Right? You want a picture? Look how smart this guy is. Hey, you want to... He's sitting on the motorcycle, and the bulldog is in a backpack, and he's just going for a ride, and he's got the goggles on. He's all about it, right?
Living his best life.
It's right. That's excellent. Lose some, Orioles get beat again. My mistake. It's 7 in a row. They've lost 7 in a row now. One of the worst teams in baseball. I did not see that coming. You said it a couple weeks ago. Wasn't the win total high 80s?
88.5.
Oh, they're terrible. And the Pirates, 24 games in a row, scoring 4 runs or fewer, only 1 in the loss. We're hitting the road. Omaha, June, College World Series live, June 12th through the 14th from Rocco's, the iconic home of the Jell-O Shot Challenge. Catch money moves and follow the money live from Omaha. We'll bring you the sights, sounds, and best bets from the tournament. And if you're in the neighborhood, stop by to say hello. Follow the money and money moves. Omaha, Rocco's, June 12th through the 14th. See you there as we hit a road trip, baby.
Can't wait. I've been to Omaha. It's a great city, awesome downtown area. But I've never been to the College World Series. You?
Nope, there's a lot going on, too, that week. That's the U.S. Open and the NBA Finals.
Is that the U.S. Open as well? It's Father's Day weekend, yeah.
It is.
Let me give you this for tonight, because the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark, playing their second game now in the WNBA.
We have to talk about this on a regular basis because of props and what's going on, but also Fever, Sky. Most viewed regular season WNBA game in 25 years.
Sure.
Whoa.
So I'll go back to last year, and the Fever are a much better team than they were a year ago. We all know that. But here is what Caitlin Clark did against the Atlanta Dream a season ago. She played 45 minutes in a 104-100 overtime win. She had 26, 12 assists, 5 rebounds, and made 4 threes. She had 19, 7, and 7, and 4 threes in a 5-point win. She played 35 minutes or more in all these games. She had to last year because they were no good. She had 16, 7, and 4 rebounds, also 4 threes in another game. And the first game that she played against them, it was in in June. She had a terrible game, but that was early on. After that, she really picked it up. So based on what happened in game 1, she had the triple-double. The points prop now tonight is 20.5 or 21.5. Forget about ever finding, like at this point anyway, below 10 assists, right? It was 9.5 for game 1. It's 10.5 now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I guess you could find 9.5 on alt numbers and pay a heavy juice. 6.5 rebounds. The PRA is 37.5 tonight. And the triple-double was 13-1 in game 1. It's down to 6-1 because she had one to begin the year.
Okay.
And
I got 9-1 at DraftKings, and at Will Hill, I see $1.70 to have a double-double.
Oh, man, I don't even hate that, really.
Yeah. She's $2 at DraftKings. Their defense has been upgraded big time as well.
No doubt.
To get Bonner, and Boston was good in the first win. And the other thing we're looking at, too, is even though Chicago was blown out, Reese had 11 boards in that game. So how high are they going to put that prop up, too?
No, she had 17, I thought.
What did I say?
11.
Oh, yes, it was 17.
17, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought it said. She had 17.
Oh, they're going to make that, 13.5, 14.5?
I got to go higher than that, I think, yeah.
Might have to.
To get blown out and she still has 17 boards?
And if they don't, then you just have, if you can find books that will allow Reese to, where you can ladder her rebounds, you got to do it in those games.
They had a prop up which she get 25 or 30 in a game before the season started. So, but the other thing is how, why are they only 7? Because the upgrade and how this team looks different from an offensive standpoint and what they added defensively, and they were suffocating Chicago. I know Chicago can't score.
I don't disagree.
But still, what they did.
You want to play maybe a little first quarter, first half action as well?
Yeah, that's not bad.
Bet them around the world?
Yeah.
I don't hate it. No, I think the numbers overall on the future board, right, for the Indiana Fever are out of control. And that's kind of to your point, like with the hype, the markets, right, how people have been betting this stuff. You can't really touch those at this point. But the individual game stuff, 7 might be way too short in this game tonight. Hell, I hope we're talking about a 15-point win tomorrow. Dave Portnoy, who had that huge bet on Caitlin Clark to have a triple-double at 13-1, and he won, I think, $350,000 on that. Here's how he is betting Caitlin tonight. He put $50,000 on Clark to have 13-plus assists at 3-1. So fire away. Open up the apps. And good luck getting down $50,000 on anything in any book on the WNBA for anybody else. So it
was a good win too by to beat the Aces. What the Liberty did to start as well.
The Aces
so it's a good race.
14 tonight.
Is that what it is?
14, I think I saw against Connecticut.
What happened there? They got rid of Bonner and Carrington?
Lost everybody.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's going to be, that tells you, right?
Oh.
I mean, now the Aces are obviously still highly power rated. But for them to be laying 14 against a team that made the Final Four last year in Connecticut, that'll tell you what the Sun happened in the offseason to that team.
Plum was awesome in her first game with L.A., almost dropped 40. Didn't go well in the second game. And then with the new team, with Golden State, they're supposed to be up-tempo, and we'll see if they can play some overs, and they're in action tomorrow.
I would say this about the Aces again. The takeaway from Game 1 against the Liberty, and Liberty are the champs, obviously, but when you see a team that had that chemistry with Kelsey Plum over the years, and they won a couple of titles, get rid of her, and then they bring in Jewel Lloyd, that could obviously take a good week, 6 games, whatever. Just put a number out there before they're actually in sync and playing at the level that where they were at over the last 3 years or so. 14's a big, big number. So it's Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Up next, we'll get into the Charles Schwab Challenge on the PGA Tour. Jeff Seeley joins the program. He'll give out his best bets for the tournament here on Follow the Money, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine, and maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them, from disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.